Hi everyone, hope you're all well. So it's going to be a 30 to 40 minute mat-based session, no equipment needed, maybe just a head cushion. As always, please just look after your body, listen to it. If anything doesn't feel great, then it might not be, so just maybe make the movement smaller, adjust your position, or if that doesn't help, then give me a call or a message and we'll work out what's happening. All right. So we're going to start in 4-point kneeling. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. You have a nice deep breath in. Oh, as if on cue, here is Mr. Nip to investigate what's happening. Okay, so when we're ready, we're going to breathe out, tuck the tailbone, round the back up towards the ceiling. Pause at the top for a nice deep breath in, and then breathe out, lift the tailbone and lengthen back to neutral. So breathing out, get the lower back rounding first, then the mid, then the upper. Deep breath in at the top, and then breathing out to lengthen back to neutral again. As you breathe in at the top, see if you can fill the back of your body with air, and then breathing out, lengthening forward, emptying out all of that air again. Let's go for one more. And back to neutral. So you're going to go for a little bit of thread the needle, so you might want to step your hands forward just a tiny bit, give yourself a bit more space. We're going to breathe out, reach one hand underneath, and then breathe in, come straight back through and open up towards the ceiling. And then the other side. So you want to keep your hips above your knees all the way through. So not letting the bottom sink backwards, not letting the hips swing out to the side. Let's go one more each way. Last one. Come back to the middle. So we're going to think about taking our rib cage in some circles now. So we're going to think about it coming up, across, down and around to the other side. So just moving nice and slowly. Just check you can keep a nice easy breath going. And your arms will need to bend as that chest comes down towards the floor a little bit. So a nice fluid movement. Should feel quite nice, just mobilising through the back. A nice three-dimensional bit of mobility work. And then pause to take that circle in the other direction. Go for one more. Come back to the centre. We'll just drop the tailbone back to the heels. Take your knees a little bit wider. Let the chest come towards the mat. And we'll just breathe into the back of the body. And then gently walk the hands across to one side. So staying nice and low. Just finding the stretch into the long side of the rib cage. And as you breathe in, you feel the ribs expand, just increasing that stretch a little. And as you breathe out, empty out all that air. And then gently walk the hands across to the other side. Again, find the stretch into the long side of the body. Breathe into that long side of the rib cage. As you breathe in, you can feel your ribs expand, feel that stretch increase a little bit, and then breathe out, empty out all the air, really relax. And then we'll walk those hands back to the middle, gently walk them back up towards you. So we're going to come down onto our fronts now. We have a little bit of swan dive prep and some swimming legs. So just come down onto your tummies. You probably don't really want a head cushion, which does mean your nose is going to get a little bit squashed, but it will help to make sure we get the length through the back of the neck. So you're going to lie down with your elbows out in line with your shoulders, forehead on the mat. Just have a couple of breaths, let your body sink down into the mat. And then just think about a little bit of lift of your lower tummy away from the mat, reaching the tailbone for your heels. Go on diesel if you go out the way. And think about your shoulder blades gently drawing towards your back pockets. Going to keep that feeling, arms are going to stay relaxed on the mat. And then as you breathe out, you're going to reach the top of your head forwards and just float your forehead just a few centimetres up from the mat. And then breathe in to relax back down. So breathing out, just reaching the top of the head forwards, tiny little float up from the mat, and then breathe in, come back down again. So it's only very small, really keeping the length through the back of the neck, keeping tailbone reaching for the heels, and just notice how much weight you're taking through your arms. Like them to stay nice and relaxed. So if you'd like to make it a bit more challenging, as you breathe out, think about the top of the head reaching forwards and floating up, just a little float through those arms as well. And then breathing in to come back down. So it is much stronger. If that's not for you, don't worry. Just keep the idea of your shoulder blades gently sliding towards your back pockets. Lower tummy gently drawing away from the mat. And your tailbone reaching for your heels. So it definitely shouldn't cause you any discomfort in your lower back. If you are finding that, think more about your tailbone reaching for your heels, or maybe just stick to just your head and not your arms floating up. Let's just go for 2 more. Nip, that's not going to work, I'm afraid, my friend. Come on, off you go on your bed. Good lad. Okay, so just relax through those arms. We're going to do some swimming legs now. So we're going to start by tucking the toes under. So as you breathe out, you're going to think about drawing your seat bones towards each other and just pushing one heel backwards so that leg straightens. And then breathe in and relax back to the mat. So breathing out, think about drawing your seat bones towards each other, push one heel backwards so that leg straightens, and breathe in to relax back to the mat. So at the moment we're keeping the toes in contact with the mat, we're just straightening through the knee, seeing if we can get those glutes to fire as you push the heel backwards. So as you're doing this, just check what's going on through your shoulders and your neck. Upper body should stay nice and relaxed. Just thinking about drawing the seat bones together as you push the heel backwards on the out breath. Okay, so next time you push your heel backwards, hold that leg straight so you can keep that leg in exactly the same position and just point the toes out behind you and then pull them back in underneath and then let that knee return to the mat. Same on the other side, pushing the heel backwards, hold that position using your glutes Point the toes towards the wall behind you, pull them back under, gently back down. So you can see you can go for a nice long out breath to push the heel and then point the toes. And a breath in to draw those toes back underneath and let the knee come down. Go one more on each side. And then let those feet relax so the tops of your feet are flat on the mat. Then we'll go for what's really the level one. We've done almost like a sort of quarter and then a half level. So that same feeling of breathing out, drawing the seat bones towards each other. Reach one leg really long. Just let it float any amount up from the mat. And then the other side. All the time, just keep that feeling of reaching your tailbone for your heels. That little bit of lift through the lower tummy. You want to be able to float that leg up without your tummy pushing down into the mat. And that will help to keep your lower back in a nice lengthened position. Make sure those bum muscles are doing the work to get that leg to float up. So if you want to, you could add in the opposite arm, breathing out to float the leg and the opposite arm just up from the mat a little. Keeping the shoulder blades drawn towards the back pockets gently. If you want to make that more challenging, you can reach those arms out long. Same again. So as you breathe out, floating opposite arm and leg up. Keeping the lift through the tummy. Tailbone reaching for the heels. Let's go one more each side. Awesome. Okay, pop those hands under your shoulders, push yourself back up onto your knees and just drop back into that shell stretch again. Have a couple of deep breaths into the back of the body. And then walk those hands back up towards you. And we'll come over onto our back. So grab a head cushion if you would like one. And we'll come on over and get set up in our Pilates rest position. So, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Just bring your feet together and then step those toes apart, bring heels in line. We'll just have a few breaths. So breathing in, fill the body with air, and as you breathe out, just let your body sink and soften down into the mat. So just notice where you feel the contact with the mat through the back of your body. And with each breath, just see if you can soften and sink and spread your body onto and into that mat. So gradually you feel more contact through the whole of your back. Okay, so just have a check. You've got a little bit of length through the back of your neck. Shoulders are gently drawing away from your ears. Your collarbones wide. And then when you're ready, we're going to breathe out and just have a very small roll of the pelvis towards us. And then breathe in, just a small roll of the pelvis away. So just keeping it very relaxed, very easy, minimal effort. Just breathing out, softening and sinking the lower back into the mat. Breathing in and just allowing the pelvis to roll away gently. And we'll just settle into a position where you're in neutral. So you've got a little pocket of air under the middle of your lower back. you can always make the diamond with your hands, just pop your thumbs on your belly button, fingers down towards the legs, and just check that diamond is nice and level. Okay. So keeping that pelvis lovely and level, just check that your rib cage is sinking and heavy down into the mat. And we're going to start with a little bit of work for the arms. So we're going to take the hands up towards the ceiling, and we're going to do some scapular isolations. So palms facing, arms shoulder width apart. We're going to breathe in, float the hands up a little, breathe out, and just let the shoulders sink down. So breathing in to float up, and breathing out to sink down. So if you can feel that you're tensing up through your body or your neck, just make that movement a little bit smaller, a little bit easier. As your shoulders sink down, think about widening across the back of your shoulders as well as across those collarbones. Just want to feel the shoulder blades sliding around the rib cage and then sliding back around. Let's go for one more. And then just leave those shoulders feeling nice and wide, and we're going to breathe out, take the hands towards the wall behind us, and breathe in to come around in a half circle. So all the while, rib cage stays nice and heavy down into the mat, keeping that little pocket of air under the middle of the lower back. So if your shoulders are a bit clunky or sore, just make the circle a bit smaller. Check that the palms face as the hands travel backwards, and then the palms are pointing up towards the ceiling, facing up towards the ceiling as they come around. Which will just help the alignment through your shoulder. I'm going to pause after the next one, and then take that circle the other way. So coming down towards the legs and then opening up and around towards the wall behind you, and back up through the centre. Breathing in as the arms go wide, breathing out as they come up through the middle. So one more this way. Pause with those hands up towards the ceiling. We're going to take this into a double leg stretch. So we're going to take the hands in the original direction, and as those hands travel backwards, one leg is going to slide away, and as the hands come around, that leg's going to slide back in, and then the other side. So the aim is that you're moving independently through your shoulder joints while the rib cage stays nice and heavy and stable into the mat, and independently through each hip joint as you lengthen that leg out, so the pelvis can stay still and heavy and in that nice neutral position. Go one more on each side. Come back to the centre. Okay, so we're just going to work into level one scissors. So we're going to breathe out, think about drawing the little bony hip points at the front of the pelvis towards each other, and float one leg up. Breathe in and let that leg float back down. Same on the other side. And just again check in with what you can feel through the back of your body. Notice where the pressure is, where the contact is, and that should stay the same as you just breathe out to float up one leg and breathe in to come back down again. And you want your pelvis to stay lovely and level. If you want to pop your hands onto those bony hip points at the front, you can just feel whether there is any movement side to side. Resetting the deeper tummy muscles on each out breath very gently. That idea of drawing little bony hip points in towards each other Or you could think of more of a lift through the pelvic floor, or a wrapping feeling through those lower tummy muscles. Okay, so we're just going to work in and out of double tabletop a few times. So next time one leg floats up, pause. Think about your ribs sliding down towards your hips so you feel all of your tummy muscles engage, and then breathe out and float the second leg up. Pause there, and then when you're ready, breathing out, one leg comes down, and the next out breath, the other leg comes down. And again. So breathing out, first leg floats up. Think about those ribs connecting towards your hips, and then when you're ready, breathe out, float the second leg up. We're aiming for the body to stay completely still as that second leg comes up away from the floor. And then breathing out for one leg to come down, breathing out for the next leg to come down. Do that twice more. Breathing out to float up. Think about those ribs sliding towards the hips, and breathe out, float the second leg up. Hold for a moment. Breathe out for one leg, come down, and then the other. So that might be quite a challenge for you, so just keep working with that, working in and out of double tabletop. Otherwise we're going to come into double tabletop, and then we're going to work into single leg stretch and some sort of cycling motion with the legs. Oh, Nick. You do think this is your show, don't you? Off you go. Okay, so when you're ready, float the first leg up. Think about the ribs sliding down towards the hips, and then float the second leg up. Just check what's going on with your neck. Make sure you've got nice length through the back there. If you can feel your neck a bit tense, have a look over one shoulder, look over the other. Come back to the centre and think about that soft peach in between your chin and your chest. Okay, so we're just going to breathe out. Reach one set of toes out towards our imaginary light switch, and then the same with the other leg. So again, keeping those ribs connected, keeping a nice neutral position through the lower back and pelvis. If you're struggling to maintain neutral and it's more comfortable for you to gently flatten your lower back into the mat, that is okay. Always remember you're aiming for neutral, but it's better to be a little bit flatter than it is to allow your back to arch up away from the mat. Okay, so really lengthen out through that leg, feel like you're opening out through the front of the hip. We'll go one more each side, and then we're going to go into our little bicycling motion. So this time, you're going to breathe out, let a set of toes come towards the floor, but then before they reach the floor, lengthen that leg away and then float back up and into tabletop. And then the other side. Long breath out to sink, lengthen and float, and then a breath in just to fold back into position. And just keep the control through the centre. You'll feel those tummy muscles working quite hard. If it's too much, have a little breather, go back to a level 1 single leg stretch, doesn't matter. Just work at the level that's appropriate for you today. Let's go one more each side, and then we're going to switch direction. So on this next one, breathe out, reach the leg out towards the light switch, control it towards the floor, and then draw the heel back towards you and back up to tabletop. Same on the other side, reach long, lower the straight leg, draw the heel in towards your bottom and back up to tabletop. Breathing out to reach away and lower, breathing in to come back into that tabletop position. So really make sure you're not allowing the position through your lower back to change as that leg lengthens and then lowers. Okay, let's go one more each side. And then come back and come into a little ball, have a little rock side to side, have a little breather. Okay, so we're going to work into bridge for a moment next. So when you're ready, let one foot come down, let the other foot come down, pop your head cushions to one side. Just reset your feet, maybe bring your heels a little bit closer towards your bottom. Okay, so arms reaching nice and long. When you're ready, breathing out, we're going to sink the ribs down, roll the pelvis towards you, and then push into the heels, squeeze through those butt muscles, and peel slowly up away from the mat. Hold at the top for a deep breath in, and then breathe out and just melt yourself back to the mat, one little back bone at a time. and release back to neutral. So you can start really small, don't feel you have to come all the way up to start with. Just again, work with how you feel today, peeling up from any amount, holding at the top for the breath in, and then peeling and melting back down as you breathe out. So just visualise your backbone right in the centre of your back, peeling up along that central line, and then peeling back down along that central line. And just check you've got equal push into each heel, equal squeeze through both sides of your bottom, and that those bony hip points stay lovely and level all the way through that movement. You want to feel like you're keeping the length through both sides of your body, all the way up and then all the way down. So that might be more than enough of a challenge for you. If that feels good, we're going to add in a little movement at the top. So in the same way in cat, we put the rib cage in a circle. We're going to think about taking the pelvis in a circle in bridge. So if you're not sure, just work with normal bridge. If you'd like to give this a go, we're going to breathe out to peel up. Set our position at the top. Think about these little bony hip points still staying level all the time. We're going to think about taking the pelvis across a little bit. Imagine it's a bit like a typewriter sliding across, and then let it come down towards the floor, back across and up again. So it's staying level, just sliding across, up, back across, down. So just having to coordinate a little bit of on-off work through the glutes. Still working through those tummy muscles to keep the pelvis nice and level. And those legs will be working a little bit as well. And then pause, and we'll take that circle the other way, so bring the pelvis across, up, across and down. Yeah, as I said, if this is not comfy for you, just go back to normal bridge, that's no problem. This is just mobilising a little bit in a more three-dimensional manner. And it should not hurt, it should not be uncomfortable. So if it isn't feeling great, so just go back to normal bridge. We'll just go for one more. And come back to the centre and peel yourself back down. And we will all finish with just one normal bridge. Breathing out to peel up, breathing in to hold, and breathing out to peel back down. Good, and then draw one knee in, draw the other knee in, and forwards, not backwards and forwards, side to side. So you may want to call that a day and have a stretch and finish there. I'm going to do a little bit more, and we're going to do a couple of roll-ups and then a teeny bit of work towards teaser. So if you want to do that, either roll to one side and push yourself up, or have a little roll backwards and forwards and just roll yourself up. So we're going to do a couple of full roll-ups to start with. So if you know rolling all the way down to the mat is not for you, you could just do a couple halfway, hold, and then come back again. But the main thing is we get this really lovely rolling movement through the pelvis, articulation through the back, keeping collarbones wide, head floating up all of the time. So knees bent, sitting up tall on those seat bones, collarbones wide, head floating up. Have a breath in. And then as you breathe out, think about your pelvis as a bowl of water and start to tip the water out of that bowl. See if you can tip more and more and more water out of the back of that bowl as you gently roll all the way back to the mat and reach overhead. As you breathe in, take those hands up towards the ceiling, and on the out breath, a small nod of the chin towards the chest, and peel yourself slowly up, find those seat bones, and then grow tall. So when you initiate that roll back up, think about really lengthening through the back of your neck as you bring your chin ever so slightly towards your chest. So you almost feel like you're lengthening out through your top of your head, lengthening the whole of your back as you start to peel away from the floor. We'll go again. So breathing out, tip the water out of the back of the bowl or the pelvis, keep tipping that water, collarbones wide, shoulders relaxed, and peel slowly back to the floor. Reaching overhead. As you breathe in, hands come towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, lengthen through the back of the neck, small nod of the chin, and peel yourself all the way up. Find those seat bones and grow tall. Let's go one more like that. Breathing out, roll off the seat bones. pour the water out the back of the bowl. Keep pouring and peel all the way back. Breathe in, hands towards the ceiling. Breathe out. And peel yourself all the way back up. Great. Oh, lovely. Okay, so basically tease prep is going to be that coming back up away from the mat a little. We're not going to come all the way up. We're going to keep a little bit of a roll off those seat bones, and we're going to do it, we're going to come up to say around here, and then we're going to see about straightening one leg, and then see about straightening the other leg. And if that goes well, we might see if we come to boat position, and then if you want to, you could see about straightening. This is sort of the edge of my limit, or straightening both, and come back down. Okay, so we'll talk you through that. So let's first of all just roll down to the mat. So when you're ready, breathing out, roll off those seat bones and all the way down to the mat. Have a nice deep breath in and get ready. So we're not going to come as far up as we did before. We're going to stay just off the back of those seat bones. So breathe in, draw those hands up towards the ceiling. Breathe out, peel up to around here and hold. See if you can just widen those collarbones slightly. Hold in that position, see if you can straighten one leg. See if you can straighten the other leg. And then we will roll back down again. Same again. So breathe in, hands towards the ceiling. Breathe out, lengthen through the back of the neck. Roll up, just to about there. So you're still off the back of those seat bones. Straighten the one leg. Let's take those hands a bit higher. Straighten the other leg. Good, and roll that down again. So same again, but this time we're going to bring the hands up overhead. So breathing in, breathing out to roll. Pause here, lift those hands. You'll feel that is harder work. Straighten the one leg, straighten the other leg. Good. Keep those hands overhead and see if you can peel with control back down. Same again, up towards the ceiling. Peeling up, hit that position, arms up overhead. Straighten the one leg, straighten the other leg. Hold, keep those hands above your head and control the peel down. Whoa, well done. Let's go one more like that. Peel up, hold, straighten one leg, straighten the other leg. Keep those hands above your head as you peel slowly back down. Well done. Okay, we'll do one last one, not with hands overhead, but with straightening both those legs if you want to. So, hands towards the ceiling, breathe out, peel up and hold. See if you can float both legs up. See if you can straighten both those legs. Oh, and hold. From there, peel slowly back down, one little bit at a time. Well done. And have a nice deep breath in there. Well done. Draw one knee in. Draw the other knee in. Have a little rock side to side. And then we'll finish with a stretch. So well done if you did those teaser bits. The last one I didn't describe very well, I do apologise. I was concentrating on what I was doing. But I will maybe do a little bit more of that and break it down even further. But well done if you got through those. Okay, so just have a little roll backwards and forwards. Roll yourself up to sit. Just have a stretch here. So we'll have one leg out to the side, other knee out in the other direction. As long as that's comfy for you. If you want to take the other leg wide, that's fine. Have a nice deep breath in and reach up. And we're going to breathe out, come down towards that straight leg. And it doesn't matter where you get to. You might prefer to bend your knee a little bit. You want to think more about your chest coming down towards the thigh. And you just want to feel that stretch into the back of the leg, into those hamstrings. And you might feel it into the opposite side of your back as well. Gently walk those hands back up. We'll keep the legs where they are. We're going to have another breath in to reach up tall, and then we're going to breathe out and twist towards the straight leg. So as you breathe in, see if you can grow a little bit taller, and as you breathe out, see if you can twist a little bit more. centre, and we will switch over. Same again, breathing in to reach up, breathing out to come down towards the straight leg. Again, doesn't matter where you get to. You just want to find that stretch into the hamstring, maybe into the opposite side of the back a little bit. If you want to bend the knee, then maybe you can bring your chest a little closer to that leg. That might feel more effective. And then gently walk those hands back up. Keep the legs where they are. Breathe in to reach up again. Breathe out to twist towards that straight leg. And again, as you breathe in, growing a little bit taller. As you breathe out, maybe twisting a little bit more. And then gently release back to the centre. We'll make our way up to stand, so come over onto hands and knees, tuck those toes under, just roll back over the feet, keep the hands on the mat, take the hips up towards the ceiling, and just have a few breaths here. You want to maybe just interlace those arms, a little rock side to side. And then when you're ready, come back to the middle. Bend the knees, drop the tailbone and unroll back up to stand. And then we will just finish. Oh, high nip. We'll have a nice deep breath in and reach up. 2 more. Last one. And you are done. Well done. Hope you enjoyed that one. Take care.